Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 10 in the NFL right now with Joe Duffy, OffshoreInsiders.com. It's a Monday right after Week 9, and we're going to take a look at the Thursday night game, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, Joe, you take all these tough games. Here's another one that's kind of interesting, maybe some value of Cleveland, Cincinnati, two sort of hard to predict teams here in the NFL, but you're going to cover this one. Give us your opinion. How have things gone at OffshoreInsiders.com this year with all of your pay picks, all of your premium picks, all the picks where you think you have a big edge?
Yeah, well, no, a big-time client of the Score Phones way back in either the late 80s or early 90s called me the NFL specialist, and we've certainly lived up to that nickname. 13-5 the last 2 weeks with our premium plays, and a lot more to come. Been a winning football season overall, college and pro combined, so plenty of great stuff now that we've got, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night football, just about every night of the week. Joe Duffy's picks at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Cincinnati's a 6-point home favorite. Total right now 44 or 44.5. And Cincy, they beat the Jags, but the line was a little bit high. I did hear that the Jags were a sharp side last week. That was a side that I liked, but they did still win by 10, although they didn't win against the spread. And Cleveland, they got the win. They didn't cover against Tampa Bay, and so Cincinnati, obviously a very capable team who can win by a margin. They're not the most reliable team that you want to see, but still, I think at -6, Cleveland with Hoyer and their issues on the road, I guess I'd lean Cincinnati, but it wouldn't be a strong lean. Total 44, 44.5. Since their bye, Cincinnati's gone 4-1 over under, but Cleveland's been trending under, and I guess I'd have a small lean towards the under at 44.5 as well. But again, that would be just a very lukewarm lean. Not sure if I'd want to bet it. What's your take on this game, Joe?
No, Peter, we're actually agreeing, and a lot of the stuff you said I had as well. But no, the under will be in my official play, and you're right. Jacksonville was a sharp side. It was a wise guy play for us. We had it at 11.5. We keep telling people to buy early in the week. That's why we've been releasing our plays much earlier. And of course, the line did go in our direction, but all my clients got it as one of the wise guy winners. But no, as you said, Cleveland, especially with late, they've been really running a very conservative offense with Hoyer. He's a very good, efficient quarterback, doesn't make a ton of mistakes. Jordan Cameron's probably going to be out this week again. They're tight end. So Cincinnati's a team that's very vulnerable against the run, but not so good against the pass. They actually allow a whopping 4.8 yards per rushing attempt. That's the teams normally getting just 4.1, but conversely, they hold teams to 0.7 below their normal average when it comes to passing. So I think Cleveland, they're a team that prefers to run the ball anyway, and now they not only can really, they don't have to change their strategy, they can, no pun intended, run towards their strength. And we always say it's more about pace. Andy Dalton has not played his best in primetime games. We've seen Dalton come up short before, especially when the team seems to be playing well. So I think, this is a fairly high total, so we agree on the under.
All right, I'll tell you my thoughts on it. It makes me nervous. If it were like 47, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. With such a low total, 44, 44.5, we see this all the time in these NFL games. Even if it's like starting out to be like a modestly paced game, then in the second half, all sorts of crazy things can happen, and all of a sudden you see 21 points in put up in some quarter, or if Cincinnati gets out to, a 2-touchdown lead or a 17-0 lead, then Cleveland will abandon their run plan and try to pass, maybe have a little bit of success. And Cincinnati, with A.J. Green back, they're always dangerous to put up a lot of points. And, against Jacksonville, which is, also a kind of team that you might lean under towards. That game went to 56. And Cincinnati, again, 4-1 over-under in their last 5 games. So I just feel like even if the under's looking good for most of the game, it just makes me nervous that at some point, one way or another, either early or late, the game could easily go over a low total like this of like 44.
Yeah, no, it's what I call the psychological juice. There's no question. That's why the public prefers to bet the over, and they prefer to bet favorites because somehow, losing on the under seems to be a lot more painful, or when you're losing with an underdog and they get backdoored, it seems it's a lot more painful, but you don't want to bet it that way. And you mentioned A.J. Green. You're right. He is back, but keep in mind, he's with a toe injury. He's coming back on a short week. I know that he says that after the game, he said he expected to play a little bit more this week. But yeah, we'll see what happens, though, on the short week. That's a very tough situation for him to come back his first 2 games back in just a matter of 5 days. Yeah, obviously A.J. Green is a major factor, but still, still, I don't know if he's going to be 100%. And yeah, of course, all those things that you say could happen,
right.
But I've got to make my picks based on what I think is the most likely scenario, and I do not charge myself psychological juice. But you're right, with a game like this, the total's not super high, but I still think it's a little bit high. But you're right that with a total this low, you are in danger of paying psychological juice when you lose, but that's, you just got to shrug them off. You're going to win a lot more than you're going to lose, but you can't have those losses really affect your handicapping too much.
All right, well, let me just ask you then, why didn't you go for Cincinnati -6 here? Because, we know the problems that Cleveland in general is having on offense. I mean, they're okay, but they're certainly nothing too impressive. And you just get the feeling that if this one starts going score for score, eventually Cincinnati will pull away. And that, unless there's one of the classic implosions by Cincinnati, which is always possible, but unless that happens, probably Cincinnati gets a pretty comfortable win. And just Cincinnati -6 at first glance didn't look too enticing, but the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking, that might be a 55% play right there. Why did you take Cincinnati -6?
Yeah, well, no, we definitely have a check mark next to one of these sides, and I'm still waiting for some more metrics to come in. Maybe my premium clients will know for sure at offshoreinsiders.com which side that I do have, although I'm still leaning towards, I'm still looking at the total as a possible premium play as well. But no, you bring up some good points on the side, and we'll finalize. We record this on Monday, of course, so a lot more information is going to come in between now and when I do make my premium pick, which I will probably release some premium picks as early as Tuesday. But yeah, that's a definite possibility for sure.
All right, interesting answer there from Joe Duffy, hinting that the side here might wind up being a premium pick at his site. But for the purposes of this video, Joe Duffy's going to go with the under. Currently 44.5 is a widely available number. And again, I agree with that. That was my first thought when I looked at this game. But then the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, one way or another, this game could easily go over. But then again, like you said, that might be just psychological juice talking. All right, Joe, thanks so much. Awesome insights as always.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.